It's a home invasion as you've never seen before. These residents are fighting to protect their properties from their own government. Officials sold their land behind their backs to a rich developer. Now they're fencing it off in preparation to throw them out.
The district police chief ordered to fence the area, and this is actually the main complaint is that the people in there will be blocked off from any access to the road or access for information for the outsider to monitor.
Ou Virak is a Cambodian activist trying to help people fight illegal evictions.
I was told by most of the villagers here that they were forced to an agreement, that they don't agree, and they say if they don't agree they will be forced out or they will be thrown to jails or anything like that in that nature.
All over the country, people are finding that land they thought they owned has been sold to someone else. Hundreds of thousands are now in jeopardy of losing their homes and livelihoods. And Western governments that have invested billions in stabilising Cambodia are getting nervous.
Property is really the key to prosperity and to freedom. Once people are not secure in what they own, then everything else falls apart.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious is this problem in Cambodia, for the future of Cambodia?
I guess I would give it about a 9.
The land dispute is a direct result of the chaos caused by the Khmer Rouge. "30 years ago, they abolished land title, forcing people to work on rural communes. A quarter of the population died from execution, starvation, and civil war. In 1992, the new government passed a law to give survivors secure land title. Anyone who occupied land legally for 5 years was supposed to become its owner. But as land values rise, the government's ignoring its own law.
Pol Pot xa tiết nhom chưa chạy chẳng buổi giờ tới phim tí mũi mình miên tia hay xa xong ban thưa ai dương miên một là boy hở si.
Sina and her family have been ordered to leave the home they built in Phnom Penh 10 years ago. They bought the land in an urban slum with the prosaic name of Group 78 for $1,000 US. Her husband, Mies Nat, has documents to prove they've stayed here long enough to qualify for land title. So can't I have residence registered with the police stamped by the city government, proving you lived here? But the government has simply seized the area for itself. It's offered families barren land outside town and a token $600 in compensation, even though the land right next door just sold for 60 times that much.
Please come in. Would you like a cup of coffee?
A cup of coffee.
The very future of these families is at stake. This area has a nearby school, hospital and market, and access to services like private English lessons.
A cup of coffee.
The Nat family runs a grocery stall from their porch, and with wages from Mies Nat's office job, they can make enough money to get by and plan for the future.
ហើយយើងអាចរើសស៊ីបានចេញទៅនៅចិត្តក្រុងចិត្តផ្សារហ្មង
The Nutt family's house doesn't look like much, but they've got running water, electricity, proper shelter for their family. It's their home, and the plot of land it sits on is their only real asset. Now, if they lose it, the place they'll be sent to makes the hardship of this village look like paradise. This is where they're supposed to come to join thousands of other evicted families. An open field without water or power, 25 kilometres from the city. When it's dry, it's a dust bowl. When it rains, it turns into a swamp. Evicted families are given 12 by 5 metre plots of land to make up for the homes they lost. But it's too far from the city for anyone to make a living or for the children to go to school. The authorities haven't even provided tents. Families have had to buy sheets of plastic for shelter. Disease is rampant. They are scenes Ou Virak never expected to see in the new democratic Cambodia. His father was executed by the Khmer Rouge before he was born, and he grew up in a refugee camp in Thailand with his 4 brothers. In the 1980s, his family was given asylum in the US.
I got my master's degree in economics, and I came back about 2.5 years ago wanting to work as a lecturer, and I joined the movement as a human rights activist about 1.5 years ago because I felt that there's gross violations of human rights in this country and there must be someone who do something about it.
Virak is now trying to teach Cambodians like these residents of Group 78 how to fight the illegal evictions. But in a system where judges' verdicts are often for sale, money is proving far stronger than law.
The prices of land, I think, have increased by 7-fold over the last 5 or 6 years, and that's an enormous increase. So the temptations are enormous, and that means the injustices also potentially can be very enormous.
It's unclear who's making money out of all this because the government sells the land in secret. But critics believe corrupt officials are making millions, selling land at a massive profit and paying peanuts in compensation. When people moved here in the 1980s, it was just worthless marshland. But as the city has grown, it's become some of the most sought-after real estate in the capital. And the villages behind there have already been cleared out for commercial development. And the city governor wants to build a road through Group 78. And between the village and the site of the new National Parliament is the site for the new Australian Embassy, cheek by jowl for now with one of Phnom Penh's poorest slums. The embassy bought the land from a powerful Australian-Cambodian businessman who's also an advisor to the Prime Minister. A former refugee in Australia, 36-year-old Kit Neng now owns a pro-government TV station, the main mobile phone company, a betting agency and a half share in ANZ's Cambodian banking interest. While there's no suggestion illegal evictions happened on the embassy site, residents have been forcibly evicted from other land that Kit Neng has acquired. it's common for city police to act as muscle for property developers. On the other side of Group 78 from the Australian Embassy site, uniformed police were working as security guards for the new owners of yet more land ready for development.
All of them were forced to sell their properties. Really, they have no choice. As you can see, this is actually a huge island, empty now, and it's all owned by companies closely linked to the Prime Minister.
As a US citizen, Virak is one of the few Cambodians brave enough to speak out publicly about what many complain of privately. The enormous wealth and power of Prime Minister Hun Sen and his network of friends and associates.
Certainly he's one of the rich men in Cambodia and probably one of the richest men in the world. There's always cases like him or his relative or his in-laws end up being the owner of some land concessions by the government.
The Prime Minister is a former Khmer Rouge commander who wields near absolute power. So, human rights groups have urged Western powers to protest about the land grabs. Foreign donors provide half of Cambodia's national budget, and Australia gives almost $50 million a year through its aid agency AusAid.
This building right here is the new National Assembly building that they're putting up. Directly across this road here, you'll see the land allotted for the new Australian embassy.
But Henry Hwang, a US lawyer representing evicted landholders, says the Australian embassy has refused to speak out.
What's disturbing about this, I would say, are two things. First is that AusAid actually is a very generous donor to the development of Cambodia, and two of the three priority areas are strengthening the rule of law, and the second is reducing the vulnerability of the poor. Now here you have the poorest of the poor, and here you have the new Australian embassy slated to be built right in the heart of this, and yet they haven't said a thing about this issue.
Embassy staff declined to be interviewed, issuing a statement that they had no responsibility for any land around the site. US Ambassador Joseph Mussomeli is far more outspoken.
There's too many land disputes, there's too many rich people or greedy companies. This is something that goes to the livelihood of millions of Cambodians. And if they want to maintain political stability here, the political parties, especially the parties in control right now, have to do more to redress this issue.
The land grabs are even more serious in poor rural communities, where 3/4 of the population survives on subsistence farming. In some places, officials have given private companies land grants of up to 300,000 hectares, 30 times more than the law allows.
If you stop by a village anywhere in the country, you're probably going to discover by talking to the villagers that the village will be affected by the land grabbing.
Tapum is a typical village, carved out of the jungle in the 1980s by survivors of the Khmer Rouge. 2 years ago, the government gave their land, along with 10 other villages, to a nearby state rubber plantation in partnership with a private company. A village councillor told us the rubber company's president and his deputy had close links to Cambodia's first family.
The current owner is the in-laws of the Hun Sen family as well, and also the vice president is marrying to the niece of Hun Sen. With the white cap.
Oh, he's over there. The village chief, like most other people with any power in Cambodia, is a member of Hun Sen's party, the CPP, and wasn't keen on helping us with our inquiries. What do you think of the situation here where people's land has been taken by the rubber plantation?
It's for the company to resolve.
But isn't it the people's land? Wasn't it taken? Is it true that Hun Sen's family has taken the land?
Their business.
We headed off to the plantation headquarters, only to find it guarded by no less a figure than the local police chief. Is that unusual for police to be guarding private companies like this?
No, this is not unusual. In fact, certain companies like the Panamix use the military police officers to evict people. He did confirm that the vice president is the nephew or the nephew-in-law. He married to the niece of the prime minister.
And Hun Sen's brother is also the governor of this province.
Correct. Hun Sen's brother is the governor of this province.
So keeping it all in the family.
I guess that's what happened.
We did manage to track down the provincial governor Hun Neng. He's Hun Sen's older brother. He denies the plantation is getting any special favours.
កុំសូមបីឡើងសាច់ញាតិទោះបីកូនបកើតក៏ដោយបងបកើតក៏ដោយក៏មានអ្វីៗធ្វើអ្វីៗទៅតាមច្បាប់
But some people say your family, Hun Sen's family, has much too much power, too many positions in government, too many controls of business, too many associates who control business as well.
រឿងនាយករដ្ឋមន្ត្រីហ៊ុនសែនដោយយើងដឹងអស់គ្នាខ្ញុំមិននិយាយប្រវត្តិហោហែមកទេ ប៉ុនគ្មានក្រុមគ្រួសារហ៊ុនសែនណាទេគឺបងប្អូនសម្ដេចហ៊ុនសែនមានតែ6នាក់ទេណាទី1មានខ្ញុំជាបងបកើតបន្ទាប់គ្នាហើយប្អូនស្រីនីមួយទៀតធ្វើការធម្មតាដូចគេដូចឯងហើយគ្មានដីធ្លីគ្មានស្អីណាសម្បត្តិហូរហៀមហាសាលដូចគេថាទេ
Corruption is central to everything at all levels. I don't know of any case of where a corrupt official has really gone to jail here. Certainly not from the ruling party.
The scale of land grabs has been a fillip for Cambodia's weak and divided opposition. Sam Ramsey heads the biggest opposition party and has been able to project himself as the people's saviour.
Their home has been dismantled. They have no roof over their head, including the small children. No, but there's Cambodia. No, to thang bipop lok. Mien nek snaha chut de thwa. Nek dal ke anat aso chun rong kruh. Ke ka pia phol prayoj bong paon sah kom dai krahom man ao ke dai bong paon te.
This community next to Group 78 is the latest in the firing line.
He was beaten. He was forced to sell his land for $500.
And how is he now?
His head is still hurting him.
And there's no way to go to court to defend their rights? There's no justice for them?
The court is very corrupt here. If you have money to bribe the judge, then you will win.
But if you don't have money to bribe the judge, you will lose. And all these people are poor people. They cannot afford to bribe the judges. Therefore, they will always lose in the court.
This is supposed to be a democracy. What is happening to democracy in Cambodia?
No, this is a fake democracy. We have only a facade of democracy, but we don't have any democracy in substance. It is like the Khmer Rouge. The Khmer Rouge, they expel the people from the cities. But now they do with some discrimination. The rich people can stay. Only the poor are expelled from the city.
As soon as any leave, their homes are demolished. People renting are even worse off than owners. They receive no compensation at all if the landlords accept the offer. As the land is immediately ringed with barbed wire, they have nowhere to sleep but the street. Hundreds of families here have held out for months despite constant intimidation. But 2 nights later, police moved in force. We arrived just moments after a pregnant woman had been beaten. Can you just explain to us what's happened tonight?
She was not willing to leave the site. They want to relocate the population, the people today. And the police grabbed her and beat her, and she's 6 months pregnant.
Well, this is the moment the people here have been dreading for months. It's just on 10 o'clock, and an hour ago, a contingent of police arrived and ordered everyone to leave. They've refused to go, so the police are now regrouping just beyond the village. They're expected back in force at 2 a.m. The residents brace themselves for attack, some erecting barricades on the street. Dawn came with no more police raids, but everyone here knows their homes and land will soon be gone. Cambodians are once again at the mercy of a regime that treats them like cattle. But this time some are prepared to risk all to fight.
Looking back at our family history, my dad was killed by the Khmer Rouge. I think the Cambodian people suffer enough, and I think we must do something to stop this.
Their hope is that those who support Cambodia's rulers will also support its people. Treats them like captive, but this time some are prepared to